Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nothing FM, Nothing Media. We have today Ilona for Liberation Unleashed. Welcome, Ilona. If you have any questions, please type in on YouTube, on Facebook, and then Ilona will answer them. If you would like to join the Zoom, there's a link on YouTube to ask a question live. If you are in Zoom, you can also unmute yourself and ask a question for Ilona. Go ahead, Ilona. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm very happy to be here. And thank you guys at Nothing FM, guys and girls, for this opportunity and for this wonderful event happening all over with all these different speakers and different views. Thank you, guys. Just in 2 words, my name is Ilona Ciunaite. For those who don't know me, I have been one of the founders of Liberation Unleashed movement, and that's the movement which started in 2011. And it's all about helping others to see through this illusion of a separate self. Liberation Unleashed is a worldwide growing community where seekers can come and get a guide and in a forum like one-on-one chat and see for themselves what all this non-duality, this no self, or whatever you want to call it, it's all about. And the beautiful thing is that people that see through this illusion of separateness, they come back on the forum as guides, and they help other people, other seekers to see that. It's a wonderful dance between, those that seek and those that can point. And it's very joyful to see this happening for so many years. It's like 2021, so it's almost 10 years that this movement is going on. So I just want to shout out to all the wonderful guides at Liberation Unleashed, and thank you all for doing such a wonderful job. As I noticed, the number of seekers waiting for a guide is growing, and we always need new guides as well. So if you have been through a Liberation Unleashed process and you think that you could contribute and help the guides, please contact me or somebody at Liberation Unleashed and join. It's a wonderful gift to pass on, and it's a wonderful way to deepen your own realization as you get as a guide to ask different questions. Everyone that comes in, they come in from different places with different ideas, and there's always a challenge how to convey the simplicity, the simple truth, so that it gets communicated and it lands somewhere. So this is a little introduction, and in today's meeting, in today's conversation, I would like to talk about the importance of being ready. So many seekers are coming, asking all these questions, but are they ready to see the truth? Are they really ready to surrender? This is a big question. So what is that readiness, and why is it important? Well, the readiness is the point where you say, okay, it's enough. I had enough of whatever is going on. I had enough of seeking. I had enough of suffering. I just want to finally find the truth, no matter what. That's the readiness, no matter what. As in this process, there is a lot of distractions and a lot of expectations. And expectations are usually saying, all right, it should be like this, or it could be like this. I want this to be like that. And the readiness is saying, all right, I don't care anymore. I just want the truth. And at this point, there is this burning desire for the truth, no matter what. So if there is this readiness, if there is this longing, that call from within for this seeing, for this understanding or experiencing, well, that is a very good confirmation that you are on the right track. And being ready means like it's enough. I want this. I want this so bad that nothing else really matters. So this is a point where you can reach and see for yourself what is it, what this is all about. And sometimes this being not ready is like, it's like germinating the seeds that are already there. You know that there is this path, there is this realization, but that has to mature, it has to germinate, so that real desire for the truth can come through. So this is a little bit about why it is so important to feel that readiness. Because if we are wishy-washy, looking for something just vaguely, maybe this, maybe that, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. It's kind of saying, okay, life, universe, God, whatever word you want to use, and just saying, okay, I'm ready now. What is this? I want to know. So let's just check inside and see, are you ready? Are you ready? And the next question is, are you ready now? Are you ready to end the seeking now? Or is there much depends on it, and it feels like losing your identity or something precious? Because that seeking can become part of identity, especially if you are into that for longer years, like 10, 15, 20 years. It can be very easily identified. It can be identified with the seeker, like this is something noble, this is something higher, this is more important. Yes, but that seeking, what the seeking is just attention being drawn away from what is here into something that, well, a better future, a better moment, a better experience. That seeking is just an energy pulling away from what is here into a search for something that is never lost, really. I think we all had this experience at least once, when you are looking for something and you cannot find it just because you never lost it. Like, for example, you're looking for keys and they are in your hand, or you're looking for glasses and they are on your head, something like that, or you're looking for a phone while it's in your hand. So it's like this, that seeking is looking for something out there, thinking that it's out there, while it has never been lost. It's here. So that finding is not by searching, the finding is by noticing that what you are looking for was never lost. It's already here. So it doesn't matter how many rooms you look for, little skis, or how many people are helping you, or, all the knowledge of how to find it. The only thing that stands between looking for and finding it is noticing what is already here. And this is so simple and also so tricky, because you're already here, you're always here. So what is that? What does that change, seeing that you're already here? Well, and here you go. It changes nothing. It changes nothing. Because you are already here. It doesn't need to change. It's no fulfillment of your wishes. It's, it doesn't make it a better experience. It's just noticing that you're already here. Always here. Right now. So this makes it all so much difficult. It's like looking for something you never lost. How do you know how to recognize that? So what is that always here? Well, there's experience happening. There's life happening. Life as colors, sounds, sensations, feelings, thoughts, bodies, people, experiences, situations. It's all life happening. And there is awareness of that, which is always here. And which is not separate from what is happening. So we can see the experience, we can describe and define the experience, and we can also see the knowing part of it. And that knowing part is always here. It never changes. It never leaves. It's not lost. It's just a little thing where the attention is going on a form, or it goes on noticing, on a knowing. So the seeking business is intense. It can be very much. It can be very painful as well. With all these stories about not being good enough, or not deserving it, or thinking that not in this lifetime, or I'm too simple, I'm too ordinary. What all these people there, they know something I don't. So the seeking is a little bit like tight shoes that you put on and they are hurting the feet. And when you take it off, when you take that hurting shoe off, it's not a loss. You don't feel like you lost something, even though it was usual. So it's with the seeking. You don't need to seek for something when you are already here. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments. And well, thank you, Barbara, for your comment. Thank you. Lovely. If you have any questions, or if you want to talk about an issue or topic, you can simply unmute yourself or send me a message, and we can look at that. Right. So that's a good question to ask is, are you ready to end the seeking? Are you ready to finish with the seeking? And if not, no, then what is in the way? What is in the way? What are you holding on? And the seeking energy, once the natural state is recognized, or once you get it, then that seeking turns inward, and there is a sense of exploring, and it's a different sense, different flavor of it. So that exploration and fun and creativity continues, but that seeking is no longer there. Like those shoes that hurt the feet, can run without them also. It's nothing is lost. Okay, I'll have a look at the comments now. Helen is saying that mind says, but there is more than just the hereness. Yes, that's what the mind says, because it is in charge of all this, imagination. Yes, there is more than hereness. There is all this imagination with all the past and future and all the ideas and concepts. Yes, there is. But it's also happening in hereness. Even if you think about the past or future, it happens in hereness. So hereness is like a ground. And this hereness is right here, right now. It's always right here, right now. So if you think about the past, for example, what did you do yesterday at the same time? Just for a moment. What did you do yesterday at the same time? See how this question brings up an answer, some kind of image or feeling or thought or memory. And it happens here in this hereness. So even the past and future and all the imagination is in hereness. And if you take word hereness or here now and replace that with the word being, just this simple sense of being, you can see how that's the same. These words point to the same, to this presence, being, aliveness, alive, or God, whatever word you like. There's only that. It's one beingness. And mind is an expression of that. Okay. And the message from Simon: I'm following the steps on your blog. Start here and I'm able to be in the present by looking at nature, but I still don't see. I've been doing this for hours for the last few days. Can you be my guide? Hi, Simon. Lovely to meet you. Right. It's so simple. It doesn't require to be looking for hours. It requires to answer a question. Is there Simon running the show? Is there Simon separate from nature? Or is it nature showing up as Simon? And being in the present moment is so natural that, we don't pay attention to that. It's always present moment. And it seems that it's not juicy enough. Perhaps it's maybe boring, just sitting in the room, looking at the colors and the walls. I was hearing these sounds. But this is the nature. This is also nature. If you take that word nature and look at the aliveness or the sense of being, it is here. It's not hidden. It's always present. So you can be looking for, or you can be looking at. And looking for, it's like waiting for something to happen. Waiting for a different experience, but that waiting itself can be looked at. Right, okay, right here, right now, there is waiting for something else. So we can see that waiting and can explore the waiting and see where does it feel in the body? Where is that waiting? How does that feel? And what does that energy want? What does that waiting energy really want? Does it want to explode? Does it want to hide? Does it want to dissipate? What does it want, that waiting? It's a little bit different question to ask, but we can try to ask that. What does this waiting want? It's a little bit different and difficult to communicate about this in this format where I cannot communicate with you directly. So I will use this opportunity to say that on this Sunday, I will be having a deep looking event on Zoom as well in a smaller group, and we will all interact and we can look at each and everyone's issues that arise or things that arise. So I'm inviting you to join the group on Sunday. I think it's in the evening. You can email me at admin@ilonacunited.com and I will send you the details. I repeat, at ilonaciunaite.com for the details how to join the Zoom, for the smaller group where we can interact and work together and look together. That is the best way to guide, because here, as I am talking, I can only hear myself talking. I do not see your reaction, and I do not see where exactly you are. But yeah, I appreciate that you are following the steps, and yeah, just keep looking, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, how many hours it takes, but it's just starting noticing that which is already here. So you're not looking for anything special or nothing different from what is here. It's just like, okay, what am I seeing right now? What is here right now? And you can notice that sense of being and see how giving attention to it, something happens, just gets more pronounced, more vivid. And there is nothing new to find. It's something very ordinary, very simple, and known since childhood. So nothing is going to disappear, change, transform. It's just literally a drop of a belief that there is something to find, something to understand, something to seek. I believe that there is a happy tomorrow. I believe that, you can get some special powers from realization or something amazing out of it. But it's all just expectations that are covering and are not allowing to see clearly that what is already here. So in a way, there is this noise here, the mind saying, oh, this should be like this, I want that like that, I don't want this. It's all going on here. But there is a deeper sense of being that you can notice as well. Whatever is going on, you can notice the sense of being. And when attention is going into that, something happens. There is more sense of peace, more calm. And it can be a joy arising. It can be, but if there is a lot of noise here, we can't notice it. It's just covering it. And then attention is always on the mind, on the things that the mind wants to do, mind wants to know, mind wants to understand. And it's all just me, I want this. But there is another way to look at it, this all, and just noticing the direct experience. And what is direct experience? It's just what is happening here now, what is being experienced right here, right now. So what we have here is the experience that is happening, the sense of being, plus all the judgments, all the thoughts, all the interpretations, descriptions, narrative about it. So just like a coin has two sides, right? So is this, there is knowing part and experiencing part. The content and knowing of it. It's one and the same. It's one and the same thing. Okay, Simon, thank you for another message. Yes, I will see you hopefully on this Sunday. And I will write this. Here we go. I will write this for everyone where to write an email if you want to join. Admin. And here we go. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, I'll have a question from Monica. Does life has any purpose? Oh, this is a very interesting question. Does life have a purpose? Well, the purpose of life is to live. That's all. That's the way I see it. The purpose of life is to live and to enjoy. And if you look at the nature, there is no, everything has a purpose. There is no randomness there. Well, the flower's purpose is to flower and give seeds and expand and multiply. The purpose of life is to live and to enjoy. Yeah. So I think that the flower opening up is the celebration of life, celebration of that form. It's like fulfilling its purpose. So is this human. So is every human. We all have the same purpose: to grow, to flower, to enjoy, to experience, to know. Well, I would say that's the purpose: to know yourself, to know life, and to be at ease and growing and flowering. And knowing yourself and knowing what the life is. Wow. I don't think much about life purpose these days. It's kind of, I just live. I don't think why or what for. I just live. Like every day is a new challenge. Every day brings something interesting. So I don't even think about why. Just go and do it. Go and live. So I think that's the purpose. To, okay, let's say life as a human is to grow into a kind, loving, wonderful light being, perhaps. But we all can have our own stories about the purpose and about the meaning, and whatever is meaningful for you is that purpose. I cannot tell you what your purpose is. But I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, let's read another question from Ray. Hi, Ilona. Nice to see you again. Is there a danger that the no me, nobody here message can be a form of nihilism? I have this fear that I will fall into a spiritual bypassing trap. Oh, this is very, very good question, and it's so important to address this. Right? If the message is taken by the mind as a new belief, as a new way to describe, yes, that can be a danger. But if you are really seeing that there is no separateness, there is no dividing line between me and life, then it's inclusive. Everything becomes inclusive. Everything is the same life. There is no nihilism in that. There is realization that you are not separate from life itself. That it is life that is, showing up as this form, as these words, as these people, as other people. Everything is life, so it's all inclusive. There is no danger of nihilism. The only danger is if you, let's say, get exposed to this message a lot and you learn the words and you repeat them to other people. That's a danger, because you're not living it. You kind of repeat what other people say, what makes sense to your mind, but it's not a living experience. Then yes, there is a confusion. Yeah, in that way, there is a danger. But if you actually see it, then there is no danger of nihilism. It's actually realizing that everything is one. There's only one. It's beautiful. And then with that realization, of course, in time, your relationships with everything changes, because you're no longer seeing others as something separate from life, neither yourself separate from life. So there is this recognition of, let's call it higher intelligence, or this aliveness. So if there is a fear of nihilism, you can look at that. Like, what is there that is afraid of it? And what is the worst that can happen? And for who is this fear so important? And yes, there are traps, sure, and you can fall into traps, but nothing is permanent. And you can call it falling into the trap, or you can fall in your next step. And it depends on how you frame your experience. That's how it is for you. Perhaps you need to go in and observe what is happening with all these beliefs about being separate or not separate, or being alone or being lonely, or denying other people's existence. You know, all these ideas, they have to be seen through. And if you don't call it a trap, it's a path, you know, to go in there, check it out for yourself. What is there? What is true for you? So you get your own understanding, your own experience of it. And as I say, there's nothing permanent. You can't get into the trap and stay there, you know, forever. It doesn't work like that. Somebody will come and shake your shoulder and say, okay, snap out of it, you know. So if the truth is the goal, if the truth is what you want, then nihilism, no nihilism, all ideas don't matter anymore. You know, you just want to know. You just want to finally see it and live it. And spiritual bypassing is a thing these days. Like, rather than feeling emotions, we can just wash them away with this. Oh, I'm nobody. There is nobody here feeling it. Or all these stories, they don't matter because there is nobody here. You know. Yes, that can happen, and it can be an interesting stage. But if you are interested in truth, you will see through those beliefs too, and you will clear the path for clarity. So don't worry about the nihilism. See for yourself what is this non-separateness is about. And then you can see that no concepts are the truth. We have concepts, we have ideas, but none of them, they can come close to what is actually here, just because they are mental. It's the mind talking about the whole life. And what does the mind know about the whole life? It just, you know, repeats other people's ideas and things that it heard or read, or it thinks that it knows, but it does not know. The mind does not know. And trying to understand this nihilism is one of the things that, you know, it's also a concept. And without the concept, what is here is aliveness. And that's not conceptual. It's actual, it's here. So don't worry about concepts. All of them are concepts. All words about words about words about words are concepts. There is something else going on, right? So I hope this answers your question. Thank you, Ray. Okay, now I have a message from Joy. Hello, Ilona. I have lately started hearing about this. Could you maybe describe why would you start seeking in the first place, and how would you know when you are ready to be open to accept? Thank you, Joy. Thank you. Why would you start seeking? I would say it's not that you start seeking, it's that the seeking finds you. It's like there is some point where when you probably realize that there is something more to life, there is something else going on, and that longing, there may be a longing to connect, to the heart, to the inner beingness, to life, to God. I don't know. Everyone has their own word that resonates, so it's difficult to speak. But if you imagine, if you think your own word to connect to what are you looking for? What is that connection? So if there is that longing coming from within, that's what ignites the seeking. And if you are into this journey, if this is something that is coming for you, there is no way around it. You have to go through it. So the way in, if it's calling you, that way in is open for you. And you don't have to be seeking for many, many years. That's not truth. You don't have to. Some people fall into this very quickly, like that. For others, it may take many, many years. But it doesn't matter how it is for others. If you are if you are looking and you are ready, it doesn't matter if you have been looking for 10 days or 10 years. If that desire is there, if that burning desire for the truth or connection or whatever you call it is there, just answer the call. It's a call from within, and nobody else knows how it is for you or how it should be for you. So that answering that call in practical sense means looking at that sensation there. What is there? What is that calling? And just going into the other side of it, that where is it coming from? Like, what does this life or universe wants me to know or look at? And you can keep focused on that sensation, on that longing, until you start noticing something. See, the thing here is with the receptivity. It's very important. The receptivity. Like, how much are you willing to hear? How much are you willing to listen? Like, even if this life is communicating, or if it's an interactive, how open are you to receive the messages? Or how open are you receiving the guidance, the inner guidance from within? And if there is receptivity, and if there is readiness, the seeing is available. It's not magical. It's nothing special. It's really recognizing the simplicity, the very simplicity of life, that everything is life. There is only life. So why to seek? It's not a choice. It either comes and grabs you, or it leaves you alone, like everything. And if the seeking energy is here, if there is this wanting to know, just follow it through completely. And it's just literally for the love of truth, just whatever you want to know, that answers is already there. And when to stop, when to stop, it also happens by itself. Like, right, if somebody is seeking for many years, it's very difficult to stop. But if somebody just started, like, there is no inertia, there is no identity with the seeker yet. It's kind of fresh curiosity, fresh interest. So, it doesn't have to last for years for you to realize the truth of being. Anyone can realize that. The other thing is integration into that, and like living from that place. So that may take years, and it is for the rest of your life, but I wouldn't call it seeking anymore, because it has a different flavor. It's more open, playful, curious wonder, rather than, oh, I need to get something from someone, to know something, to get somewhere. This is not it. There is a different taste to that. Energy, the same energy, I would say, seeking for or looking at. It's like going out or coming in, just looking what is here, what you are noticing. So it both seeking and stopping happens. It's not like by decision. But it's a very interesting journey, and I wish for you, Joy, to find what you're looking for. You know. Okay, and there is a question from Dan Lila. Hi, was it difficult for you to start talking publicly about this topic? Right. Back in 2010 and 2011, when all this started for me, it was impossible to talk about it for me because there were no words. I didn't know what this was. I read this Jed McKenna book, so I had a little bit of language about it. But to go out and tell people that there is no self, it's like, hitting them in the head and expecting that they will treat you nice. That was how it was in the beginning. It was very difficult to talk about it. Simply because you can't really put that experience into words, and you know that it's impossible to talk about it. But somebody had to do that. Somebody had to talk. And I kind of felt like I have to get many people to know that this freedom is available. And I started writing a blog, and in 2011, first time I went to satsang. I didn't know that word before, and it was with Pamela Wilson, and I saw how she was working with people, with a group of people, and it was amazing. I could see how she wouldn't say these words, there is no self, there is no I at all, but she would guide people into this greater freedom, or releasing their contractions, or just relaxing into beingness. So that gave me a new way to look at this, and a new way to talk about this. And I just started to experiment. And the next satsang that happened was a satsang with me. So I rented a room in Hampstead in London, and I advertised it, and a few people came. And in the beginning, it was like a challenge. You go to a meeting with yourself, with the truth, and don't know what happens. And after that, I enjoyed that meeting first time, and after that, I started to hold monthly and in 2 months meetings in Worthing, where I was living. So I always enjoyed working with a group of people, so that public speaking kind of grew onto me. And it's interesting that I would never like to share my story or talk about myself, as I found that irrelevant. I'm here for people. I'm here to look with them about them. So I really don't have like a story that I want to tell everyone, how bad it was before and now how good it is, all that, marketing thing. But talking about this in public, yes, in the beginning it was challenging and interesting. It's also interesting because every conversation I have, I learn something. It's like there's a gift for me as well. So, so I take the challenge on and see what happens. Thank you. And Joy is asking also, why are the mind and myself different? I can't seem to wrap my head around this. Okay. Ooh. Well, what is the mind? What is the mind? What is that we call the mind? And if you look at that, what is the mind? Like, what I notice is that there are thoughts coming, and there is one thought after another, one at a time. And I see them. Right? I see thoughts. They are not me. They are not mine. There's something perceived. And if I look at the mind as something as that creates images, or that shows up as images, like dreaming at night, dreaming in the daytime, there is this capacity to dream. That's also mind. What else do we call mind? Like capacity to memorize, capacity to conceptualize, a capacity for logical thinking and rational thinking. And this is all mind. And it all shows up as one thought after another thought, one at a time. And I see it. I hear the voice in the head. I hear the narration. I witness the story in the head. So how is that me separate or different from the mind? So let's see, what is this me? What we call me is something in the mind. That is a mind's created image. But you are not the image. You are someone that sees the image. So here is a gap. Like there is a thought, there is knowing of thought. So I am not a thought, and you are not a thought. You are here as a space for the thoughts to appear. So can you see now that there is a gap? It's like I see hand. I see hand. I'm not the hand. The hand is not mine. It's a color. Same like that color, and same that like that color. It's a color. And I perceive that. I know of that. So this is the first layer, like first distance. Because then we can ask, what is mine? Right? We perceive thoughts, we perceive images, we perceive what is going on mentally. But what is the mind? Where is it? And when we start looking at that, something happens. There's a space that opens. This mind becomes quiet, like silent. And there is this openness to recognize that which is in between the thoughts. It's just this pure being. So we can see that I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not colors, sounds, or sensations. There is a space of knowing, a aware space of knowing, in which shows up as all the forms. So this me that mind talks about, the me, is in the mind, is one of the thoughts that come up. A very important thought, but it's just a thought. So there is this story about me as a person, as an individual, as a character. So there is a story about me, about the character. Just like a story about any fictional character. But this me is only in the story about the character. And what you are is not the story, it's not the character. Again, it's something that is seeing it, recognizing it. I hope this helps. Okay, what does that mean? Michael has a live question. Hi, Michael. Do you want to come on and unmute yourself? And I don't know where you are. Okay, so I'm just waiting to hear from Michael. If you are listening here now and you have a live question, you can unmute yourself and we can chat. Okay, Michael is not here. Oh, thank you, Ness. Nessia, for the blessings. Thank you. Sending back. Thank you. Miriam saying, thank you for sharing your experience. Look forward to Sunday. Wonderful. Yes, why not? Why not to come to this small group and, have a real interaction? It's like one thing to hear about this, one thing to read about this. Another thing is to really dive into it with a guide that, can hold your hand while you are exploring. And it's very different experience. I also want to say that if there are any Russian people that speak Russian, listening to this conversation, I'm having a Russian weekend next 12th, isn't it 12th? Let me just check. Sorry. I'm having a Russian event, first time, just because there are so many people from Russia that are contacting me in Russian at the moment. So I decided to do a weekend on the 12th and the 13th, 2 days, one after another, in Russian language. So also the same email address, you can contact me and I can send you details. Just that. Yes, Simon, that's the email. admin@ilonaciunaite.com. Wonderful. Cheers. Okay. Okay, what I would like to mention is that the whole point of seeking is to end the seeking. I have this one question that I usually ask people. This one question is, what are you looking for? It's such a simple question, but so many interesting answers. And one of the main answers is to end the seeking or to find peace. And this seeking energy is so, it takes over life. I remember how it was for me. I wasn't like a big seeker, or as I say, I didn't even know what satsang, I didn't know any gurus or anything. But I felt like I need to get some kind of information or some kind of knowledge. There are so many books written, and some of them are quite thick, and there must be something in there that I can apply in my experience to open up different view, go into different dimensions, get enlightened, or whatever. I was seeking for enlightenment. I knew that word, and I thought, that sounds good. Let's find that. So the seeking for me was wake up in the morning, like, oh, what book can I order today? What book can I buy? Who else is talking about, something that I don't even know what? The problem with the seeking is that when I ask this question, what are you looking for? Many people say, I don't know. So the first thing to find out would be, what is that precisely that I'm looking for? Because otherwise it's just vague. It's like, I don't know, somebody has something. What? What is that? So Find out, if you are seeking, find out what you are looking for. That's very important. Because when you know what you are looking for, you can start noticing that it's already here. That it's already here. Like, for example, if you are looking for peace, like, where is that peace? It's already here. It's only being covered by the mental noise. And then when you start noticing it, in the beginning, it may be a second or 2 seconds or 5 minutes. And it's just a place that you know that you can return to recharge, to relax, to feel nourished, loved, and accepted by yourself. It's like finding an inner chamber of your divine, sacred beauty that is available to come in any time and be nurtured there. Yeah. Okay. Mike is saying, I invited a Russian friend of mine to that event. She's going. Wonderful. Yes. That's great. I speak Russian. It's so difficult to type and to read sometimes that I thought, let's do a live one, even if though I'm not speaking very good. But that will be great. Thank you, Mike. Mm-hmm. If anyone has another question or idea, you're welcome. Welcome to post and ask or share. Catherine is saying that looking for an end to feel separate is what comes up for me. Wonderful. Yes. What I found very strange and surprising is that when I tried to look and find that sense of separateness, I didn't find anything. It was like there is this sense. Which sense? Where is this separateness? What does it mean to feel separate? Like in experience, in this being, separate from what? So asking these questions, you can notice that there's that separateness, there's nowhere to land. Like, okay, I can notice sensations, I can see colors, I can see sounds, I can hear sounds, and I feel emotions. But where is the separateness? How do I know that there is something separate at all? How do I know? There is an idea. There must be somebody here separate from the whole, right? But how can something be separate from the whole if the whole includes everything? Like these sensations are not separate from the whole. So what is this whole? Okay, you can use the word aliveness. Nothing is separate from aliveness. Okay, if I could give you a metaphor, it's this metaphor of a tree. Okay, so you see that there's trunk, there are branches, there are little branches, there are leaves on the tree, there are roots, right? And there are all these separate parts that we can talk about. Okay, the trunk is different from the leaves, right? It's separate. It seems like a separate thing. But then if you look at the tree as a whole, what makes up a tree? It's the whole. I mean, the tree includes the roots, the trunk, the branches, and the leaves. So you can't say, okay, the leaf is separate from the roots, because without roots there is no leaf. It's the one thing. It's one thing run by aliveness. It's this is a form of life showing up as a tree. So if I think of myself as a leaf that is unique and special and different from the other leaves, then yes, I may feel separate because I am comparing myself as a leaf to the other leaves, to the other people, and seeing all these differences. But if I remember that it is the aliveness that makes up the tree, that shows up as a tree, it is aliveness that is, speaking these words and making these sounds and these movements. It's aliveness. It's not a hand that is moving. Something is that moving this hand. Yeah. So what is moving this hand? And is that which is moving this hand separate from the whole? Or is it the whole showing up as that? So the interesting thing is to zoom in on that sense of separateness. It's like, where is it now? Is it always here? Or is it something that comes and goes? And is it here? Is it here? Where is that sensation? How do you know that it's separateness? Could it be just like a contraction? Or could it be an uncomfortable feeling? Could it be a sense of aloneness or loneliness? Does that mean it's separateness? So this idea that I am separate is an idea. It's something that we learned. It's when we assume that I am like a leaf. But for this to be here, it's the aliveness. And yes, the forms are different. There are multiple forms, and they're all unique. And that's beautiful. It's just everything in life is unique. Like every leaf on a tree is unique. Has some different coloring or different shape or different size. It's unique. But that leaf is here. Aliveness showing up as that leaf. So we are all connected. We are all expressions of the same aliveness. We all doing our own dance, our own performance, our own purpose. But it's not my form. It's not something that I own. This body is not mine. So this me that is separate, again, is just an idea. Saying, okay, this is mine, that is not mine. That means I'm separate. But what is that says that this is mine? There's somebody separate in there saying this is mine, this is not mine. Again, it's just a concept, a useful concept when we're talking about a property. So have a look for yourself. Can you locate and identify the sense of separateness? If so, what is this separateness from? What is separate from what precisely? So that would be a starting point in this investigation about the separateness. And also a very good idea is to get out in the nature and see how everything is moving, how everything is flowing together, like the wind. Everything is moving together. It's like one movement. And that movement includes the thoughts, the sensations, colors and sounds. It's one movement. Thank you. Okay. Wow, I don't know how to pronounce the name. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Okay, So the question is, once we saw that there is no one there separate, do we just have to acknowledge it over and over again? Okay, right. Once we just see that, yes, but eventually it's so natural you don't anymore. But in the beginning, that is part of the process. Like I would say, once its opening happens, once you see that there is nobody separate here, then the life will throw all kinds of different situations and tests and challenges to see, aha, do you see it now? How about now? And how about now? So we have to look at it from all different angles and just recognize it over again and again and again until this mind kind of settles into it and stops, stops needing confirmation. Because it's all about confirmation. If I seen it once, that happened. And how about now? Do I see it now? Can I see now that there is nobody separate here now? That this is all life flowing freely. So in that way, yes, for the beginning, the mind goes on this mission to check it again and again and again. And that's very good. Keep looking, here now. The only place to look is here now. So like many times through the day, you can stop for a few minutes and just see what is happening. How is this happening? Yeah. Another way to put this is that once you see it clearly, there is no more doubt. No more doubt. And those questions don't arise anymore. They even seem ridiculous. Like how could there be something separate or outside or apart from life? The good example here is the Santa. Like many people, myself included, when I was a kid, I believed that Santa was real just because my parents told me so. And I saw all these, performances around Christmas. And my parents, did some tricks like to trick me to believing that, yeah, this magical creature is here. But then a friend told me, though, it doesn't exist. And for me, it was a little shock to the system, like, oh my God, parents lie. That was one. That was actually shocking. And the second thing was that that Santa wasn't real. They actually played me. I believed in a fairy tale. And at that moment, I realized that, the reality is not like that. There are no magical creatures. So once I saw that, I could never believe in Santa again, right? Even if, people would still play all this Christmas time, I could never believe that again. So in that way, I could see that the Santa character was fictional. And that is one way flip from a belief that it's real into seeing that it was fictional. The reality of it, that there is no Santa, there is no such a wonderful creature. There is a story about Santa believed. So what happens here with this separate self? Once you see it, once you clearly see it, there is no way to believe it back again. And you can test that. A simple question: can I believe? Is it possible that I am a separate from life being running my own show, independent of the whole? And if the answer is yes, I am separate, then there is something to investigate. But if you have clearly seen it, there is no such a question. It's just absurd. It's obvious that there's nothing separate from the flow of life, that everything is the flow of life. Yeah. But as I said in the beginning, once it's just seen, that mind need to digest, process, recalibrate, re-evaluate what is happening, and that part of the process is where it's checking it. And doubts arise, doubts get cleared, things get seen in a new light, freshly, over and over again. So that's how it goes. for a little bit. There is no formula long for how long, but yes, that's the process. Okay. Okay. Catherine is saying that yes, a sense of separation from parental judgment, seeing the child as odd or wrong, and yes, seeing the feeling rise by itself, then subside. Yes, for the child is there is a lot of going on for us as children, for children when we are learning from parents about life. And their judgment can stay with us for many, many years. And seeking approval and being cast out or feeling like not accepted by parents. That can be seen as a sense of separation. True. And with this issue, I would go into the childhood. Like, I would invite that inner child to come up and speak. It sounds a bit strange, but we all have this little innocent being inside in the heart, that little baby. So we can give it love, we can give it security and parent it ourselves. Because as that child was growing up, perhaps it did not receive enough love from mom and dad, or he was judged harshly, or was told to shut up, or was told that he's not good enough. So we can go back to that child and give it safety and give it nurture, like simply inviting that child to show up and just seeing whatever image pops up, however old that child is, and just giving love, like really giving love and talking heart to heart. It's something magical to be able to talk heart to heart, like not with the mind, but through the openness, through the feeling. So if there is a sense of separation and judgment from parents, we can look at that inner child and that little baby and see what the needs are there that haven't been met, and help that child to get what it needs vitally to feel at ease, playful, happy, creative, joyful, because all that is there, all that is hidden. Unless that child is free and happy, this adult organism is missing something, is missing that innocence or that playfulness and creativity. So in this journey, we meet interesting structures that are maybe unexpected, but yeah, making peace with parents, with mom and dad, and with this inner child is like a very good way to heal, very good way to expose all the hurts and attend them, to clean them, to clear them. Okay. Somebody's, I can't even know which language this sounds like Thai, and I can't read this, so I'm just going to read the message. Hi, Ilona, your book really helped me penetrate into the separate sense of I and fear. It's strange how, despite seeing through it, it seems to exist somehow. Does it take time to shift permanently? Well, firstly, thank you for reading the book, and I'm very happy to hear that it's helpful. Now, about this fear. Well, the fear is a defense mechanism, it's protection. It's a protection mechanism, and it's very useful and very needed. It's an ancient mechanism. And if you look at the nature, every animal, everything, every insect has got caution. And not necessarily fear, but it's cautious. Like stepping back, being ready to step back. So that fear is built in a mechanism, instinct for survival. It's needed, right? So we can appreciate how well it works. The only thing is to check, what is it protecting? What is it protecting? Because many times when you look at that, what is this fear protecting? You may find that it's an image or nothing. This is the interesting thing, that at some point in a situation, the fear was needed and it helped a lot. So it stayed there as on guard, just in case another situation like this would come up. So the fear is there already, like waiting for it, being ready for it. But this is a difficult way to live, because yes, we need fear to protect us, but not to be here all the time. So my way to work with fear is to make friends with it. It's a lot of bad rap about fear. It's like, oh, it's the opposite of love. It's no good. You have to get rid of it. You have to be fearless. Yes, but it's not opposite of love. We can see the fear as love as well, because it's here to protect. It's here to help. It's here to keep something safe. So it's doing its job. It's been instructed to do this job, and it's just doing it. And the interesting thing is that I noticed that fear, what we call fear, is a sensation, and it stops other sensations from coming up fully and being felt fully, because that fear is so strong, it kind of stops it. So the fear says, oh, don't go there. It's too dangerous. You may not be able to handle it, or, not now. Just anything to stop something from being seen, from being found out. And look at this. There is this mind that creates the image of me as a person, like an individual character, right? So the fear is protecting that image from being found out as to be an image, a fiction. So, so yeah, there's this aspect of it, that the fear is protecting this illusion from being found out to be an illusion. And it's protecting that. So does it still need to be here protecting that? And does life really need to be protected from itself? It's another good question to ask. Because what is the worst that can happen to an image? Right? What is the worst that can happen to an image? Let's see. Wow, nothing. So that image doesn't really need to be protected. And the fear can still be here, but not permanently here. It can be like on call, right? The dangerous situation comes up. Something happens that, the fear is needed. Here it comes. It's okay. It's safe. It's safe to feel fear. It's safe. All good. But it doesn't need to be here all the time, protecting nothing from nothing. That's the funny thing, So the trick is to make friends with fear, allow it to do its job, and to investigate what is behind it. What is that needed? What is it protecting? And every time it comes up, it's like an invitation to look freshly, to look what is there. So it can be like a guide, like a friend that is showing you the places that still have to be looked at. Yeah, and interesting is that what we fear is a sensation, the sensation that may happen. It's also interesting that fear comes with the thoughts about future. Like here now, there is no fear. Like I am safe. Every time you check here now, am I safe? You'll find that you are safe. But when the mind starts thinking, creating stories about what is not happening yet, but may happen, that's where the fear creeps in. That's where the anxiety shows up. Because the mind creates problems, then solves them, and then there are problems that it cannot solve, and that's where the fear comes in. Like, what if this happens and I don't have a solution? What if that happens? And what if, I will feel like that? Or what if I feel these emotions that I don't want to feel? It's all these thoughts about future. So the remedy from that is just to bring the attention to what is here now, and just check for yourself, is it safe? Are you safe right here, right now? And does this mind need to create so many stories about the future that is not even happening yet? And you can check for yourself how many times the mind was creating all these scenarios that never happened. How much energy was wasted by that? So does this mind still want to keep doing that? Right. And it's interesting that all this thinking about the future and creating and solving problems is coming out from a belief that I am controlling life, that I am the manager of life. It's like, I know what needs to happen and life has to do it. I am in control of that. And there is also fear of losing that control. That is a big one. But you cannot lose what you never had. And if you look closer at this fear of losing control, you can see that there is a wanting to control, trying to control, getting upset that you cannot control. Some things happen that you say, yay, I made this. I get a medal for that. That's what I did. That's how I manifested this. But that's just description of what already happened. So seeing that there is no controller here, there is just a ride, there is just a happening. There is this flow, never-ending flow of happening. Can be fearless about that. And trusting that life knows what it's doing. Everything is unfolding as it's obviously here. And in here now, there is no room for fear because I'm not thinking about what if that happens or that happens. It's just like, it's okay. Here is okay. It's safe. So that's, for now, what I can say about the fear. Okay, question from Lisa. How can you get rid of negative beliefs? Well, this is a huge topic. How to get rid of negative beliefs. Okay. Well, firstly, I would think of what is a negative belief and what is a positive belief, and why would the positive belief be better than a negative belief, and why not to get rid of all beliefs? Why not to see that all beliefs are not the truth? So what is a belief? Well, the way I would describe is that a belief is like an organizing principle that organizes how we perceive the experience and how it's being narrated in the head. Like, we see everything through our beliefs. Like, if I believe that world is an unsafe place, everywhere I look, I will see that world is an unsafe place. And I will get all the confirmations that I will say, yes, that confirms to me that world is an unsafe place. And if I believe that life is here to, to open me up, to teach me, to expand me, to, bring more love into my life, I will look at everything through that belief. And it's like a lens. If I have a belief that, people judge me, I will act accordingly. I will be living through that belief. So how about seeing that no belief is truth? No belief is truth. That this mind doesn't know. The mind can try to explain. It will say, okay, today I believe that the world is like this and life is like that. And that's a belief, because I really don't know. And that I don't know is actually honest and truthful. So how to get rid of negative beliefs? Well, see that no belief is the truth. None of it. So you don't need to get rid of it. You can just see that it's not truth. And what is truth? Well, truth cannot be put into words, but it's lived, it's seen, it's experienced. And another way to look at this is that what we call negative beliefs are about feelings that we don't want to feel, emotions that are not allowed to open up, to be expressed. Because what is a belief if it doesn't touch you inside? It's nothing. It doesn't matter. If I believe if I click the switch, the light come off, it doesn't hurt me. It's not something to get rid of. It's neutral, yeah? But what we call negative beliefs, they come with a charge of emotional charge of some unpleasant, uncomfortable energy, right? And this is what is in the way of peaceful, happy life, is that uncomfortable feelings. But if you look at them as neutral, they're not negative, they are not positive. The feelings, that's the expression of energy. Like this life is showing up as that. Okay, so I'm not saying that it's positive or negative. I'm just seeing what is here, what is presented to me, what is given. And then I can see that these feelings, what they want is just they want to be noticed and to be felt, to be allowed. Yeah, and then none of them are negative or positive. They are just what is happening. I like this metaphor of a hotel. Like imagine you're an owner of a hotel and the doors are open and all these guests are coming and they all want to stay for a little bit, get a room, become comfortable, enjoy their time in the hotel. And then, there are some people that they coming up nice, polite, wonderful, great, and joyful. And there are some beggars or some, guests. They look like scruffy and they wear like old clothes and they smell and they ugly and they old. So as a owner of a hotel, my job is to welcome all the guests and make sure that all the guests are comfortable, right? And if I say, okay, you can come in, you cannot come in, that's already like judging what is right, what is wrong. So if I am this owner of the hotel, I want all the guests to come in and have a nice day and leave. None of them are coming here to live. They are passing by. So everyone is welcome. And the ugly ones, the horrible ones, they are bringing gifts too. And sometimes their gifts are even more amazing than the pretty guest gifts. Like, for example, right, if you have this feeling that something is not enough, like you are not enough, somebody told you that you have to deserve to be happy, right? So that feeling is like a guest in your hotel, okay? So you can focus on how it feels, where it feels, just seeing that energy as it is, like without trying to fix it or change it or transform it or transmute it or get rid of it. Just simply seeing it as it is. That's all. That's how you meet your guests, just seeing them, allowing them to be. And then with emotions, what happens, what I noticed is that once it's here, right, you can check where the attention is naturally going to. So just land that attention on, let's say, here, right? Many people feel the contraction here in the throat. So let's say we are working with this. So you look at that sensation in the throat and it feels like a tension. And without judgment that it's right or wrong, you just give it attention, just looking at it with the curiosity and wonder, like, what is going on here? What is this? I see this. I see this energy. There's something going on here. And just giving that attention to it. The attention is like electricity, that what happens is that contraction, getting attention starts to change, transform, shift, open up, and dissipate, right? So it's not so easy with like very strong emotions or very strong painful feelings, or when the tension is already in the body so much that you may need treatment. But the general idea is that the attention is like an electricity that gives that contraction something to soften up, to be seen, to be acknowledged, so they can start opening up. If you look at this as a wave, like the waves, right? They are going like that. So at the start point of checking that energy, looking at it, it's already here, right? It's feeling something. So then that feeling becomes stronger for some time. It becomes more expressed, like more vivid. So the key here is to feel openly and fully whatever is there. Just allow it to be here for like a minute and a half. Just an agreement, okay, it's okay for it to be here. So that wave, it goes up, 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 and then it just collapses, dissipates, and something changes. But if that emotion cannot go up to this top of the cusp, it will keep being here, trying to express itself. So when it goes up and out, it expressed itself, it left. But if you cannot do that, it stays in the system just as a belief, as an uncomfortable feeling, until it can do the wave and go away where it came from, or to what it was before. Okay. So I would say that negative beliefs are really invitations to look at what is there. So we don't need to call them a negative beliefs. We don't need to call them stuckness, or something like a wall that is not letting us be at peace. So we can look at those beliefs as invitations to explore. Like it is here, it's demanding attention. It's not going away until it gets it. So why not to give that attention freely? So that wave can play itself out. Right. Thank you. Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt. There is a story that I, the self, have to look intently and see the illusion of self. This sounds like a false premise. Well, yes, that's the illusion. That the illusion is that there is an I that needs to look intently to see the illusion of I. Right. But there is no I to see through the illusion of I. It's all a story about the I that needs to see through the illusion of I. And then the question is, what is here besides the story? What is here besides that idea that you need to look intently to see through the illusion? Because the flip is literally from mind into being. The mind is always here too. The being is always here too. So the mind creates that image of the self that is trying to liberate itself, that is looking for enlightenment, that is, trying to get rid of I. But it's all in the mind as a narrative, one thought at a time, one thought after another, creating all these ideas, what I should do, what I have to do. When in actuality, as I said in the beginning, nothing is lost. There's nothing there to like find by looking. There is finding by noticing what is already here. So we can always move the attention from the thinking, from the images, into what is actually here. Well, in liberation at least, we call that direct experience, and that may be a little bit confusing. What is this direct experience, right? So, okay, we can say the direct experience is the colors, sound, sensations, taste, smell, like what is being perceived, and feelings, plus thinking, but minus content of thoughts. Like we see that there are thoughts that is being experienced, like there are words coming out of the of the mouth here. There is an experience of that, and it's the experience, the direct experience is what is happening right here, right now. That is experienced directly. Like this color, that color. If I look at colors, this is here now. It's not imagined, and I cannot change that into green or purple. You know, it's not something I can do. But I see what is here. I experience what is here. So this is directly experienced, not imagined. And the difference between what is imagined and what is real is just, you can test it for yourself. You know, you can imagine you are on a beautiful island surrounded by dolphins and seagulls or whatever, but you are here, and where you are, and that is undisputable. So the actuality is here, and the imagined is in the mind. And the I that is seeking to end the seeking is in the mind. So we can never end the seeking, because in actuality there is no I that needs to end seeking. Okay, and who is looking? Okay, who is looking? This is such a fun question. Who is looking? See, the language that we have operates on a premise that there is a subject doing action. And that's how we describe everything. I am sitting, I am breathing, I am talking, I am the who. There is who. Oh, that's who. That's me. That's Ilona, right? But there is no who in actuality. There is who in language. And the question, who is asking for a subject? But if we take that the whole life is happening, the whole life is, you know, expressing itself through this, then there is no who. There is just life. If you don't like word life, you know, you can use presence or being or God, anything that resonates. So there is no answer to the question who, when the who points to the whole. The whole is not who, it's the whole. I would say that who question is not very, very helpful in this inquiry, because it already presumes a subject, a doer. And in actuality, there is no doer other than life, life itself. Or, you know, you can call it consciousness. You can call it love. You can call it awareness. No, it's not a doer. This knowing has no doing in it. It's knowing. Okay. Thank you, Deep Void, for the question. What is your opinion of the law of attraction? Okay, my opinion of the law of attraction. Okay, my opinion of the law of attraction is that it sells hope. And there are a lot of interesting stories about this law of attraction, but how it really works, nobody knows. What I can say from experience is that life always gives what is needed. And then there is this narrative saying, I made this, I did this, I manifested that, right? So the law of attraction is for that voice in the head that likes to take credit for for everything. Right. Right. For me, it's like a new age marketing for hope. And what is hope, in my opinion, is something that takes you away from what is here. It says that there is something better. There is something more attractive, more pleasant, more wanted, and it's not this that is here. I'm hoping that one day I'll get somewhere, or I become someone that is going to be, happy forever after, or at peace, or whatever. So hope is a little bit toxic, in my opinion, saying that this that is here is not enough. And then with the hope, there is hopelessness also. It's like the other side of the same stick, like hope and hopelessness. So if you see through the whole thing, you don't need hope. In nature, there is no hope. Like it's not needed. It's not vital. It's something that the mind created, like a target, a destination. So the law of attraction is like, here you go. If you do this, that will happen. Yay, I want that. Or if you do this more often, or if you do this many times, that will happen. You will attract something there. And then you go on and try. I did that. I did try all these kind of laws of attraction, crazy things, affirmations, and trying to manifest. But in the end, I have what I need, including all the challenges and everything I need. So this is already here, and I can say I attracted that. But then again, then I have to imagine that there is something here, that is separate from life and makes the life, play by my tune. Like I know what I need. So it's a little bit arrogant, I would say. So it can be an interesting topic to explore, but the meaning, the purpose, or how to say, the juice of it is just like it's empty. It's empty. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa and Matthew and Catherine. I can't say. Oh, it's so interesting with all these names that I can't pronounce. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you very much for the questions. We have a little bit more time. 15 minutes. If anyone else wants to ask anything or talk about something, feel free. And I want to say or remind that I have a YouTube channel. It's called Ilona Ciunaite, just by my name, where I post videos every 2 weeks at the moment. And if you have any questions or requests that I would make a video, just let me know. You can email me or comment on a video, and I will make something for you. I noticed that very often it's difficult to get the topic, to choose the topic for the next video. And then I start seeing the pattern. Like I have the same conversation with many people, in the same week. Like everyone is asking the same question, or everyone is looking at this one thing. And that's how I get this idea for the next video. It's also showing how we are all connected more than we can imagine, because on everyone's mind is the same thing going on. It's very nice to see that we are all, growing or working through this together. Oh, thank you, Wanol. Thank you, Hammer Mateo. Thank you. Uh-huh. Merck saying hope is just a belief that this should be different. Yes, yes. And I want this to be different. That's really, I want this to be different. Actually, hope is good but in some situations. I'm not against the hope completely. For example, if somebody is ill and you are hoping that the person will get better, and you are giving the hope for that, and that hope can be very helpful in this process. But in everyday life, all that seeking and this discontentment about what is happening, it's just clouding. It's clouding the way, the clarity to see what this as it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, and there's a request to do a short meditation. Why not? We can do a short meditation. Thank you. That would be nice to finish it with a meditation. Okay, so let's just close your eyes for a little bit. Just a little bit. Close your eyes. Get yourself comfortable. Notice the breathing. Notice how the breath goes in and out. And notice, is it open, free flowing? Is it contracted? Is it stopping? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Just notice for yourself, how is it at the moment. And if you feel any tension anywhere, you can breathe into it. And just see where the attention is naturally going to. And notice the stillness, that your body is still, is not moving. There is breathing going on, but the body is still. Just recognize that stillness. Have a look at what the mind is doing. Is it inquiring, talking, asking, noticing, or is it quiet? And as you notice the mind, can you tell it? Just literally say, mind, thank you so much for all your work. Such a beautiful mind. Give it a hug and a kiss. It deserves that. It's been working so much. Can you see how amazing it is that we have this mind, that there are thoughts and there are images, there are memories, there is a sense of continuity. Can you appreciate that? It's such a wonderful friend. I mean, we didn't do anything to create it or make it happen. It was given. So we can be friends with it. And ask this question. Just out of curiosity, ask this mind, does it know that heart is its home? And see what answer arises. Is it yes or is it no? Is it, oh, I didn't know? Just notice whatever comes up. And now check, does the mind want to go home or is it at home already? And if it didn't know it was its home, can you ask it to check, is it true? Is it true that the heart is at home? And what they mean by home is being comfortable, feeling safe, being relaxed, at ease, expanded, open. Like you feel at home. And can you check, does the mind want to go home and is it ready to go home? If it says yes, wonderful. It's already free to go home. You can just watch it. You can just watch it happen. And if it says no, you can ask, what is in the way? Or what is there? What is more to do? And see what it answers. And give it attention, give it more attention. It's kind, loving, soft attention. And see what happens in the heart. Is the heart open to receive the mind at home? Is the mind at home already? Just enjoy that meeting. See what you notice. Hmm. After all this talking and listening and asking questions, it's actually nice to just be without any answers, without any questions. Can you notice the stillness of the mind, the silence? Even a little gap between thoughts, it's okay. And allow that mind to become even more comfortable, more relaxed, at rest. Doesn't need to do anything. Doesn't need to create and solve problems. Doesn't need to think about future or the past at the moment. Can simply rest, simply be. Rest as this open space, this witnessing open space, this aware being. Everything is already taken care of. Everything is already flowing as it should. So this mind can relax and even deeper. Now bring the attention back to the breath. Notice the breath now. Is it deeper, smoother, more relaxed? Well, and thank the mind, and thank the heart, and thank your beingness and this divine happening. Just being grateful for this experience, this inner brow and inner honoring of this sacred mystery that we call life. It's outside and inside, one and the same. Mm. And feel all the other hearts connecting on this call. All the other hearts that are being together here now. Just sharing that moment together. Being connected through the same sense of aliveness. Thank you for being here. And now you can slowly open your eyes and look around. Hmm. Did you notice how the energy went lower, became more smooth, relaxed? So you can play with it and practice this, like saying hi to the mind and hi to the heart and giving hugs and kisses and showing love and respect. You can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with appreciating your own inner structures. Yeah. So this peace starts at home by being at peace with whatever is here. And on this note, we're gonna end this meeting. And I hope to see a few of you on this Sunday on the meeting where we will interact more in depth and more intimately and closer together. Thank you, everyone. I may see you in a month. The next meeting is again on the first Wednesday of the month. And I hope this is valuable and useful for you. And I would love to hear feedback. You can email me and send me a message. I would love to hear from you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and bye. Bye to everyone. Thank you. Till next time.